Hi, Dr. Paul Haider, Master Herbalist here. Well, today I'm talking about how to boost up your immune system 18 different ways, and that really I'm talking about eating fermented foods and taking care of our probiotics in our gut. And this is super important. This is not only bacteria, but also good fungi and good viruses. We have a whole microbiome going on in our body, which is builds up our immune system so we don't get sick. And this is super, super, super important. And these foods I'm going to talk about, we should be eating on a regular basis, at least 2 or 3 times a week, if not, kind of daily. So it's really important. First of all, my top probiotic foods, I'd be sauerkraut. Now, sauerkraut is so easy to make. Take organic cabbage, put it in a big jar, push it down so it's really compacted, and add per quart of cabbage slaw, which is really grated pretty fine, cut really fine, a tablespoon of salt, and mix that all up and push it down in that jar. And then it eventually will create its own liquid because it's pulling the liquid out of the cabbage itself, and it will cover itself. If it doesn't cover itself after a while, then you add a little bit more brine. And then put the lid on kind of loose. You don't want it too, too tight on there because it's going to start producing gas. And that gas will start bubbling, and you put it in someplace kind of cool and dark, and it'll start bubbling for a while. Really great stuff. It depends on the temperature you have. Sometimes between 7 to 10, sometimes 20 days if it's cold in your house. So you'll have to check it on a regular basis. But this sauerkraut contains up to 200 different species of bacteria, which is really good for the gut and building up your immune system. And that's really, really important. I think in the old days when we didn't have refrigeration, would eat a lot of fermented foods, and nowadays in refrigeration we don't do that, and I think it's really important that we do. So I recommend eating a cup of sauerkraut 2 or 3 even more times a week. I think it's really important. And also the next one I would recommend, which is my favorite, kimchi. Wonderful stuff. I love this. One of my favorite things. If you like spicy food, like I do, kimchi is the way to go. Kimchi is the ultimate as far as having different species of bacteria. Over 400 different species of bacteria. So, try to get a half a cup. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend a cup every 2 or 3 days, about half a cup, because it has a lot of bacteria. You don't need as much of it. And so that is a really great way to get in those extra bacteria and viruses and different things that you need to build up your microbiome in your body. Also, organic miso. All these things I'm talking about are organic. If you have chemicals in them, they're going to kill the bacteria in your gut. So you're back to square one. It doesn't do you any good at all. Miso, organic miso. Miso has a lot of bacteria in it. Also makes a miso soup on a regular basis, and that's really good for building up your immune system. Kombucha. Kombucha is a wonderful drink that it's best if you make your own, because the stuff you get in the stores, unless it's fresh and it's bottled so it can bubble, is really not viable. It doesn't have any live bacteria in it at all, or fungi in it at all either. So it's really important to make your own. You can buy starter kits on Amazon and eBay and all kinds of different places, or your health food store, and make your own kombucha, and it's really good stuff too. Also, vegan or organic yogurt. And this is super simple to make. You know, take your organic soy milk and you pour it into, I use my Instant Pot electronic um, pressure cooker, and it has a setting for yogurt. It's poured in there, a little bit of the culture medium, which has to be a vegan starter also, and then put it on yogurt, and when it's ready, it's done. It stops by itself. Put that in jars and put it in the fridge, and boy, you have wonderful organic um, wonderful yogurt, which is really, really wonderful. And I recommend that highly. And then you can add all the different flavors you want. You can add in, you know, the different, even chocolate and berries and whatever you want to add to that after a while. Really good stuff. The soy yogurt. It has to be organic. Organic natto fermented beans. You know, and natto is a wonderful product that has, a lot of people don't think about it as being a probiotic because it has the natto, which helps to break down, you know, the deposits in your arteries so that you don't end up with a heart attack. But it also has a lot of probiotics in it too. So making your own, it's pretty odoriferous, I have to say. I have a big bag of soybeans. You take your soybeans, your organic soybeans, and you cook them till they're pretty soft. Then you add your natto starter and put them into a yogurt maker again. And it starts to build this gelatinous kind of stuff, which is really wonderful. At the same time, it's pretty stinky stuff, but it's really good for you. There's no doubt about that. Also, pickled cucumbers, the fresh ones that go into you find in the refrigerator section in your supermarkets. Those are good, really good. They have a lot of lactobacillus in them and really good for the body. Also, pickled green tomatoes. We just made some the other day. My wife's father used to make them all the time, so we went back to the tradition. We had a bunch of green tomatoes, and so we're going to make these. And so we added some salt, and you put them in the fridge, and they start to bubble a bit and make their own lactobacillus fermenting that's going on. Really great. Very simple. Easy to do. You can look up the recipe online. There's no doubt about it. Also, if you want, there's pickled peppers that you can make, fermented pickled peppers, which really are wonderful. I take big, long, red peppers and ferment them. Really great. Pickled lemons, the Moroccan style. You put them in the salt, and it draws out the liquid out of the lemons, which are cut in pieces, and it creates a liquid in there. If you don't, add a little more lemon juice in there, which is a brine basically. And those are really tasty, really good for cooking too. Also, pickled carrots, which you can do, fermented carrots. Also, pickled cauliflower, which is wonderful. I think it's one of the best things I've ever made, to tell you the truth. Pickled cauliflower, fermented cauliflower. Also, fresh apple cider vinegar, the one that's not been filtered, and I think that's really important. And that has bacteria in it also, which is good for you. Not as many as some of the other foods, like especially kimchi. It's a huge amount of bacteria in that. But also, once you get these bacteria in there, if we don't feed them right, they are going to disappear right away, almost instantly, because we're eating the wrong foods, and we have to get a lot of good resistant starch into our diet. And what foods have resistant starch? So we have to eat these weekly. The first ones that come to mind are eating a lot of cooked green bananas and plantains. They contain a huge amount of resistant starch. And they're simple to do. You can probably find green bananas and plantains in your supermarket just about anywhere you want to have organic. And you can cook them with the skins on, or you can, I like the flavor better to peeling them first, which is not easy, and then cooking them. They will not really become, soft like a potato. They stay hard, but after about 20-30 minutes of cooking, they're cooked. And put those into the fridge and warm them up as you need them. cut them up and use them like a potato. They're really, really great. I love them. There's no doubt about it. Full of resistant starch. Also, oatmeal. Now, oatmeal, either it's cooked or raw, it doesn't really matter. Has a lot of soluble fiber, insoluble fiber, and these things are really good for feeding the bacteria in our gut. And I think that's really important. We have oatmeal on almost a regular basis every morning. Also, along with a lot of fruit. There's no doubt about that. Fruit is good for you. In fact, fruit is good for your brain, for boosting up your mood and making you feel good. You know that yellow and orange fruits are really important for boosting up our mood. So, like papaya and pineapple and oranges and things like that. Really good. Also, cooked brown rice. Cooked organic brown rice, you have to cook it, then let it cool, and then it has a resistant starch in it. Then you can heat it up again. But in order to really get that resistant starch in brown rice, you really need to take that organic rice and cook it, let it cool completely, and then you can use it whatever way you want to, and then you got the resistant starch that you want. And we keep organic brown rice, cooked organic brown rice in the fridge all the time. We eat it, the dogs eat it also. They make their own food, organic food. So it's really great for good probiotics. Also, organic beans of any kind, cooked organic beans of any kind. I mean, any kind of thing. Lentils, black beans, black-eyed peas, peas also of any kind. Yesterday we made a kidney bean, peas, and black bean soup with organic, wonderful brown rice. It was a really thick soup, a hearty soup for the winter time, really good. And this has a lot of resistant starch, and bacteria thrive on that. And it also has a lot of fiber, which is also good for the body in general. Also, organic corn flour. You know, we make our own tortillas at home, so we use a lot of time or yellow corn, organic corn, or also white corn, and both are great and so easy to make. Just take the flour, organic corn flour, and a little bit of water. You mix it together, make a dough out of it, kind of a stiff dough. Let it sit for a half hour to an hour in the fridge. It becomes, you know, more pliable. Then make a little round ball about an inch and a half, and then flatten them out by hand, or they have a tortilla press, which we use, and then cook them in a skillet. And a nonstick is really good. The safe nonstick ones, and flip them over until they get brown on both sides. You got wonderful tortillas. And you can use this. I also use it in baking. I use substitute corn flour for all kinds of making desserts and everything. I made a dessert the other day. It was just delicious. Also, so there's a few of the things that you can do. Also, I think it's really important that we keep probiotics in mind at all times. And we got to keep adding probiotics on a regular basis. And especially if you just came off a regimen of antibiotics, which I don't recommend, unless you have to, you need to build up those probiotics and also get the resistant starch foods in there to, you know, start feeding those probiotics. You can take a small amount of probiotics. I recommend if you want to take capsules, that's great. Most people only have a quarter pound of probiotics in their gut, which is not good. You should have 4 or 5 pounds of probiotics in your gut. We really need to allow ourselves to build that up. And so taking things like kimchi, which I have here, which is a wonderful thing, and I really enjoy this. I put that on top of salads, you know. It's really good. Excuse me. And that allows ourselves to build up those good bacteria. And then feeding them on a regular basis, you know. I mean, it's really important. If we don't allow ourselves to find that good bacteria built up in our gut, we become ill, absolutely ill. And if we have chemicals in our gut, like some of the weed killers are out there, And some of them are actually antibiotics. The base formula for those weed killers is an antibiotic. And then they added other chemicals that go with it. And so it kills all the bacteria in our gut, and absolutely positively. So, and some people imbibe a little alcohol, that kills our, probiotics in our gut. And so it's really important that we allow ourselves to find ways of getting that into our system. Good bacteria. Now, a long time ago, it was normal. We just didn't have any other way to go because we didn't have refrigeration. We had to eat fermented foods, and so thus we got the bacteria in our gut on a regular basis. I had a man from Kansas. He was going to the bathroom, Whole Foods. I mean, just like it was going right through him, and he thought he had a liver problem. No, not a liver problem. I told him, you look at, your doctor has already checked you out for your liver. Your liver is fine. I think you more than likely killed off all the bacteria in your gut, and he was a heavy drinker. So I think, if you're going to take probiotics instead of taking the sauerkraut and that type of thing, take at least 4 capsules 4 times a day. Some probiotic that contains at least 8 to 16 different good bacteria. And he was just resistant, I have to say. And after he started this, in about 30 days, he was completely healed. And he was feeling good after that. And he was kind of still, you know what, you're right, reluctantly. I think it's really important that we allow ourselves to eat those probiotics foods, eat the resistant starch foods like the green bananas and plantains and the oatmeal and the corn flour and these type of things, which are really important for growing that good bacteria in our gut. And you'll be really, really, vital and healthy and feeling good because you do have that immune system built up. And it also boosts up your serotonin in your brain and dopamine in your brain, so you feel happy and have a good mood too. So what more can you ask for? Not a whole lot. So really great. It all starts with the gut. So enjoy these 18 different foods that will help to build up your immune system, and so you can have a wonderful, good life. And then also start on my Dr. Paul Haider's Whole Foods Plant-Based Diet and Lifestyle. And lifestyle is the most important. And go to paulhaider.com. That's PaulHaider.com. And up in the right-hand corner, you'll see My Diet. And click on that and scroll down. It's quite long. Read it. And you're going to be in the pink. There's no doubt about it. You'll be really healthy. I just did 100 pull-up crunches. And I'm feeling great. So, and I'm going on 66 here. So I really, it's about building up our immune system so we have vitality at all times. And you can do that. You can be 70, 80, 100. I'm going to live to be 150. So I've always said that. And I'm gonna make it. There's no doubt about it. So have a wonderful day. If you want to get a hold of me, my phone number is 831-869-9119. 831-869-9119. My email is drpaulhaider@gmail.com. drpaulhaider@gmail.com. My Skype address is drpaulhaider. Send me an invite. And you can text me, you can WhatsApp me on my phone number there. Also, you can go to my Facebook page under Dr. Paul Haider, and you can message me there. And please put a like there. I appreciate that. And I hope you'll subscribe. And if you want to get a hold of me, like I said, all my consults are free and would love to help you in any shape or form. Please watch the little ads here that helps to give a little bit of pennies towards my wife and I appreciate that very much. If you care to make a donation, that's on my website also, and the link is down below if you hit show more. And there's one more thing that's most important. Remember this: I love you.